Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Chit Chatting with Kate Carr. This week's video is going to focus on worst first date stories. I am a big sucker for love. I love love. I love a good love story. I love a good romantic video. I will cry at any type of love shown. I love love. That's all I have to say. I love my love that I have in my life. I love just love, and I love hearing stories. And although love is so sweet and so kind, I did originally want to focus on really sweet and cute love stories as the whole video, but then I figured, what's the fun in that? We need the gigs, we need the guests, we need the stories to have a little bit of spice. I honestly don't remember technically like the first date me and my boyfriend had, but I know that there has been a million wonderful dates in the in-between years. But we're not here to talk about me and my love life. We're here to talk about these zesty stories. So let's get into these comments of what is your worst first date story. Okay, so this first one is, one of my first ever dates, I took a girl I really liked from school to the cinema. During the ads, I went to the bathroom, and when I came back, the movie had started. As it was really dark, I sat back in what I thought was my seat. Turns out I was sitting 2 rows behind her beside another guy and a girl. I didn't realize till the lights came on at the end. I must have been too nervous to realize. If that were me, I would probably just disintegrate into the seat too. I would probably actually like laugh a little bit. I would definitely be just as anxiety ridden and as nervous too, and just completely forget and completely be like, why did I do that? One comment says, this made me laugh. Imagine her POV, you went to the bathroom and literally never came back. I hope that they found the person afterwards, because that would be so sad. The one person like getting left, all right, I'm going to the bathroom, I'll be right back, and never comes back. But actually, I think it's very harmless, it's very cute, it's very sweet. That the fact that you were so anxious that you just sat there the whole time, not even thinking anything of it, and realizing when the lights came on, then it's like, oh my god. I think that's hilarious. You just find the other person at the end and it's all gonna be good. I don't think it's a terrible date. It is definitely a story though. I hope you guys are married. Oh, see, yeah, they even said she noticed me coming back in, but thought I moved to get a better view of the screen. Obviously, she thought it was extremely weird, but lucky I was able to explain myself afterwards, and we laughed about it. That's sweet. That's a full circle love story. See, that's fun. That's fun. I love that story. Met him first time for dinner that night. Out of the sudden, he held my foot, took off my shoe, and ran away with it. Never saw him or the shoe again. I'm not exactly certain if it's the worst, but it's in the top 5 for sure. I'm kind of glad that he ran away and never came back for your sake. I'm sure there's more to that reasoning on why he took your shoe and ran away, probably sniffing it. But hey, who do I know? What do I know? Nothing. I'm just reading these Reddit stories. But I'm glad that it was a first and only time. He discussed marriage. I was 21 at the time, he was 25. I was still in college and nowhere near ready to think about anything like that. I told him that it was very clear we weren't in the same stage of life. One, of course, like, you're being vocal, that's amazing. People get married at their own time, but I definitely agree these ages are so fresh, especially the fact that it was a first date. I'm glad that was an only first date again for you. Met her at the train station and walked back to her parents' house. They were watching Strictly. Me and her sat on the other sofa, and it was a very awkward silence. She finally convinced them to let us go into her bedroom, and I made a cringe face when I sat on her bed, and I did not realize I was facing a mirror. To this day, I do not know if she saw it. We watched a movie while sitting next to each other, and I got to watch myself awkwardly stroke her cheek with the back of my hand in the same mirror. It still haunts me to this day. That just sounds like one of those things that are just like revolving in your head forever, and the other person probably doesn't even remember it, but you were just like holding on to it. Those are the worst, but I promise you can definitely let it go. Just let it go. Give yourself a little breath. It's a very long, true story. The short version is, I went for a lovely ride in a Jeep on a Saturday afternoon 40 years ago with a guy that I met that day. Well, turns out he had a habit of murdering young women. Luckily, as he said at the time, I was just too stupid to kill. He dropped me off at a little country store somewhere about an hour and a half away from my workplace. Gave me a dime to call a ride. You could do that back then. I never saw him again. The cops came around with a black and white picture of him months later, asking if anyone had seen him recently. I said no. Why didn't you say yes? I get it, you're probably terrified, but also, like, you gotta get him off the streets. Is he still on the streets? Too stupid to kill? Oh my gosh. I wasn't expecting that one. It was a blind date. We met at a restaurant. She got one look at me and I could tell the disappointment in her face. She then first told me she was expecting more of a Channing Tatum type. Damn, it was brutal. Oh my god, how mean is that? One, also, like, so, what's the word I'm looking for? Just so just so low, whatever, to say that to somebody's face too. You didn't even get to meet them. You literally didn't even speak to them yet. I'm baffled. I'm baffled. That's so mean. I'm so ready for you to find love, because that was so mean. You're beautiful. We're all beautiful. We're all beautiful. I showed up after a 2-hour drive and met her in a mall. Turns out she was sort of catfishing me to date her 5-month pregnant friend who needed help meeting people. What? That's also so mean. You're wasting this person's time for all of this. There's better ways. There's better ways that you and your pregnant friend can meet people. And this honestly sounds like a Lifetime movie. It'll take a dark twist, of course, whatever, the way that Lifetime movies do. That's just like the twist of it all. But this sounds like it could be a Lifetime movie. That's messed up. I'm so sorry you had to waste 2 hours, 4 hours of your time, because you had to drive back too. I had a blind date who took me to a comedy show and proceeded to heckle the comedian. The audience turned on him, calling him an a-hole and telling him to shut up. Honestly, yeah, that sucks. The comedy show as a date, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. If you are looking for a date idea, go to a comedy show. Go to your local comedy show, even better. But don't heckle the comedian. Let them do their set. Let them do their thing. If they do crowd work, then they'll work it and they'll pick you if you are the ultimate winner. You are annoying. The fact that everybody turned on you, honestly, I'm glad, because you definitely ruined the show. Maybe not ruined the show, but the comedian, I'm sure, played it off, but they probably were like, all right, you need to just chill and leave. But having that as a first date, I'm so sorry. At least it was a show, so you could enjoy some entertainment, but I'm sure it was mainly on you too, since he was drawing all that attention, so I'm so sorry about that. First and last date. I went out to dinner with a man I met when we were co-workers. While we were having dessert, his parents showed up. They invited me back to see their home, so I went, got the tour, saw their car in the garage, and they sat me down in the living room and started to ask me about details regarding my wedding to their son. No matter the situation, like, you have to prepare the other person beforehand. If you know that this is coming and this is what your family does and what you do, A-okay, obviously, so cool, but you gotta let the other person know, because you're gonna catch them off guard like this when it is literally the first and last date, like this person said. And who knows what could have came out of communication. Communication at the end of the day. Communication, communication, communication. I was driving to the theater and she said, "Hey, do you mind if I smoke?" And before I could answer, I noticed she was lighting a crack pipe. I was horrified. I went to the movies with her, but told her afterwards I wasn't feeling well enough to do dinner and asked for a rain check. I never called her back. Yeah, I get it. I get it. That's not the level of what most people understand when they say, "Do you mind if I smoke?" Did this person date Clinton Kane? This one says, he told me his parents died in a small plane crash. I didn't have any reason not to believe him on that date, but long story short, his parents are very much alive. And let's end it on this one. I once took a first date to a county fair and went on the zero-gravity spinning ride. I hadn't eaten that day. Well, I ended up passing out and peeing my pants. Woke up mortified. Anyways, long story short, we're married now. And that's beautiful. Like I said, I love love, and I wanted to switch it up this week and go down the first date type of Reddit threads, because I know that there's definitely interesting stories, and there's plenty of stories on these threads, that's for sure. And there we have it, this week's episode of Chit Chattin with Kate Carr. I appreciate you coming back or just coming across my video for the first time. I'm so happy that the algorithm decided to sprinkle me into your algorithm. And if you are enjoying your time here, be sure to let me know by commenting, sharing, subscribing, all the YouTube jazz, and I'll see you next time. Bye!